Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Predators, starring Adrian Brody, Topher Grace, Alice Braga, Walton Goggins, and Lawrence Fishburne, and directed by Nimrod Antal. Now, yes, in case if anybody was wondering, I did watch the goddamn AVP pile of shit, and they're just as worse as I remembered. But here, let's think about this. Let's get into this. The movie opens with Adrian Brody's character falling from the sky, and my problem with his character is we don't know his fucking name until the end of the movie. And he's such a fucking prick that I can't even stand him. And his name by the end of the movie is Royce? Give me a break. Royce meets up with Cochilo, played by Danny Trejo, who I like as an actor, but his character is terrible. Nikolai, played by Oleg Tokalarov, forgive me if I said that wrong, who I don't like either. Isabel, who I kind of cared for, but in a way not really. Hanzo, played by Louis Ozawa Chengshin, forgive me if I said that wrong, who's such a badass. Stans, played by Walton Goggins, who's an asshole in this movie anyways. Mombasa, played by Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali from... And Edwin, played by Eric Foreman from That 70s Show, aka Topher Grace, who I found comedic, and whenever he takes a villain role, I can't take him seriously. And yes, I'm looking at you. But I did take him seriously recently in this film. But here I can't take him seriously in this movie, and I could care less whether these people die or not. Our character run into some traps that honestly looked very fucking dangerous and fake, and all survive surprisingly, which was very unrealistic. And come on, someone should have died there. But the script unfortunately falls apart scene by scene, including when they realize they're on a different planet. That's a bullshit cop-out, might I add. They get attacked by some predator dogs-looking creatures, which looked very dreadful, and they shoot those things up, and something whistles them back, and again, it's a cop-out. Cuchillo becomes a bait, and Royce knows it's a trap, as well as Mombasa, and decides to leave him while Isabel puts him out of his misery. Which, how the fuck do you know it's a fucking trap? Oh my god, this running is terrible. Mombasa is killed by the classic predator, who is trapped, and there's a worse predator. This shit reminds me of Jurassic Park 3, where the original creature gets his ass handed to him by the new creation, which is a bigger threat than the original. I hated it in Jurassic Park 3, and I'm going to hate it more here. When Edwin becomes bait and Isabel shoots and misses some other creature, and another hunter gets... Who am I talking about exactly? Noland, with a D at the end, played by Lawrence Fishburne. And like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's terrible in this movie. Absolutely terrible. And he says he's been on this planet for 10 seasons, and I thought to myself, what the fuck does that mean? He hides in a hideout for years? What does that even mean? It makes no goddamn sense to me. Noland tries to kill the characters and gets killed by the predator, so they try to get out, and they successfully lose Edwin, and I thought he was dead, but nope, he manages to escape, while Nikolai gets killed with the predator, and I'm starting to get checked out of this movie after Nikolai gets killed and Stan's getting some guts taken out of him, and I didn't care anymore. I did think Hanzo's sword fight with the Predator was pretty damn cool, but it was so sad to see him die honorably. But then we get back to the horrible schlock. Edwin gets himself bear trapped, and Isabel finds out Edwin, and Royce goes to the spaceship and lets the classic Predator go to fight the worst Predator, and to get Royce to the spaceship and the Medina, and that made no fucking sense. The two Predators fight, which is an awesome fight, while Royce goes to the spaceship, and the worst Predator looks a hell of a lot worse than the classic Predator. He is one ugly looking motherfucker. And the worst Predator beheads the classic Predator and blows up the ship, and we're led to believe Royce was on that spaceship. And Edwin turns out he's a murderer and paralyzes Isabel, and Royce comes back and saves Isabel and kills Edwin, head scratching for me, that's why I'm doing it now, and blows up the Predator camp. And who cares, but Royce with Isabel finds a way off this fucking planet, or tries to find a way off this fucking planet, as that is an ending wasn't very satisfying. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 3.7 out of 10. This is not as good as I remembered, and there were a lot of bullshit cop-outs. I hated every single character except for maybe Isabel, but Hanzo I think was a cool character. And this is a very weak script, and just a dreadful piece of work. And let's see how the Predator goes, because so far, not counting the goddamn EVP shit, 1 out of 4 were good, but we don't know about this new movie yet, so I will be back next week for the Predator, and until next time, knock knock.